Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's CutTime webinar, Inventory Barcodes Made Simple. We are thrilled that you've been able to join us tonight, and we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Scott McCormick, and I serve as the Senior Manager of Educational and Business Development here at JW Pepper and am the point person on the CutTime project. I'm also the founder of the National Association of Music Parents, or AMP, and in my previous time, I spent about 26 years as the president and CEO of Music for All and Bands of America. So in my 30-plus year history in our profession, I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds, if not thousands, of parents and music educators around the country. Our daughter was involved in music all the way through high school, and my wife was also involved as a booster officer, served as a vice president and a president of an organization with over 250 kids and obviously lots more parents. So I've kind of experienced this from all ends and thrilled that I'm able to work on this great project. So before we get into the details for tonight, a couple of things you should know up front. We are recording this webinar as we do all of the webinars. So we will make this recording available via email with a link here probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. I would encourage you to submit any questions at any time, and we're going to do our best to answer those throughout the presentation. A couple of my colleagues from the CutTime team are joining us tonight. I think I have Elizabeth and Dave that are going to be answering questions throughout, and then we'll have a question and answer time at the end of the presentation where I'll be able to address any larger questions that maybe are applicable to everybody. So there's a little box on your screen that is a place for you to enter those questions. So I would encourage you to utilize that throughout the presentation. So what is CutTime? CutTime is basically an online tool that allows you to manage all of your people. So obviously your students and the parents associated with those students, and literally all of the people that are involved in your program in every capacity. It also allows us to manage our events from a calendaring perspective and managing volunteers that go with those events so that we can get to the place of having these wonderful performances. And then we kind of talk about managing all of that stuff that we have to deal with as educators. So today we're going to focus on one piece of that stuff, and you're looking at a snapshot of kind of the landing page of what a teacher would look at or administrator when they logged in. So we're going to focus in today on the inventory side of things and some of the new functionality about scanning and printing barcodes as it relates to all of that. So whether you are using Google out there as a database or some kind of program for email, maybe a MailChimp or an iContact. Some of you might be using Remind for texting. Lots of you are using Excel spreadsheets and Google Sheets to manage everything from inventory to probably lots of other things. And I'm guessing that a number of you have some kind of cloud storage, whether that's Dropbox or something similar to that. Literally all of that and more can be accomplished in this one cloud-based program that we call CutTime. So again, looking at that dashboard, I will tell you, as we said, we're going to focus in on this functionality of the barcode and scanning tonight. But the first Tuesday of each month, we actually host an overview webinar of CutTime. It runs about an hour. The next one of those will occur on October 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll go into a much broader area. I will share with you in that next webinar, if you've been to one of the overview webinars before, you might want to check this or check out the recording, as we will be rolling a couple of exciting new developments live over the course of the next couple of weeks. So there'll be some great new information to share in that webinar. So as I mentioned a couple of times, we are cloud-based, so you're looking at a snapshot of a smart device, or in this case, an iPhone. Anything that I'm showing you today from the computer, you can operate from a smart device. So CutTime was built from smart device up. So whether you're using smartphone or a tablet. Literally, you can do everything that I'm doing on those items. So the thing that, as I said, we're going to focus on tonight, since the time we launched CutTime, which is about 13 or almost 14 months ago, barcode scanning was one of those areas that we had been asked a great deal for, and we're thrilled that recently we've been able to launch that functionality. So again, we're going to dive right in. I'm going to switch my screen view for you over to my website. So pulling up the live look at CutTime website. So again, very similar to what you were just looking at. This is again the dashboard for an administrator. And I'm going to show you under inventory, as I pointed out on the other screen, scan barcode and print barcode are really a couple of those new features that we're going to talk about. We also have under people the ability to merge those barcode items, whether that's a uniform or a piece of attire or an instrument or your music library. So we'll show you that in a little bit on a video. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and open Scan Barcode, and you'll see this screen opens up. Basically says scan a barcode to search for a CutTime inventory, something in CutTime inventory for that item. I don't have a barcode reader attached to my computer, but I do have a couple of items that I had previously scanned. So this is what it would look like as I scan that, and I'll show you in the video how that works. But I'm going to go ahead and submit that, and what that's going to do is pull up that particular item. So I pulled up a tux jacket in the category of concert ensemble. It's a male 40 regular, manufacturer Stanberry. Right now it's in a uniform room. It's not assigned. It has an item number. It's got a color. And then these two areas, or these two fields I'm going to really kind of focus on next is existing barcode and system barcode. So one of the beauties in the barcode system that we've developed in CutTime is I would imagine that a number of you that might have inventory programs or something similar to CutTime that you're using might already be utilizing barcodes. So the cool part is that we can actually use those existing barcodes that you might have. We can either upload that data in when we put your inventory into CutTime, so it will take that existing barcode, or that can be scanned in. But once that item is in there with an existing barcode, our system generates a CutTime barcode. It'll actually generate a CutTime barcode regardless if there's an existing, but if there is an existing, it will marry those two items together. So once saved, anytime you were to scan either the barcode that was in your, whether it's a piece of attire or an instrument, or the new one that you printed out, and we'll show you how to print here shortly, those things work the same. So if all of you, or some of you might have all of your inventory already barcoded, you have uniforms that are barcoded, you might have instruments, there's no need to print new labels out. You can use those existing, so that'll save you some time. For those that do not or want to replace that, we'll show you that in just a bit. There is a way for you to assign this item or any items manually. So I could add an assignment manually by choosing a student in our dropdown, assign it on a date. I can select a condition, date return, condition return, and notes. We're not going to do that manual process tonight. We're going to actually kind of focus on the whole process of the barcode scanning. So I showed you that this pulled that item up. Currently, the barcode functionality, as I said, works on all of our functionality. And now you're actually able to link and check out those items to your students. So you can check instruments out, your attire in or out, assigning that inventory out to those students. So we've actually created a video that will show you this, how the barcode scanner works. I'm going to actually launch that and let that play. It'll be a couple minutes and show you kind of a real life solution to that. There you go.
Okay, we are now going to demonstrate the process of actually checking out inventory. We're going to use attire as our example, but you'll see the barcode situation would work for attire or instruments or any other item.
All right, I'm told that we don't have video, so let me try to launch that again. Bear with me for a second.
Okay, we are now going to demonstrate the process of actually checking out inventory. We're going to use attire as our example, but you'll see the barcode situation would work for attire or instruments or any other items that you have barcoded. We're going to go into our mobile application. I want to demonstrate it on mobile using a barcode reader. So I go into my application. I'm going to click on the menu and go into inventory. And there's this item, scan barcodes. I'm going to open scan barcode, and you're going to see a screen that shows a barcode scan location and an inventory management. So attire checkout, check in, instrument checkout, check in. I'm going to click check out, and it is going to allow me another screen to where I'm going to scan the barcode, and then I'm going to open the jacket and take my barcode reader. I'm using a wireless scanner connected via Bluetooth. Scan that jacket, and that is going to then return that item on the screen. And then there is a waiting person scan. So I'm going to again go to my barcode reader, and I'm going to take the student ID, and we're going to just use this as an example of a lanyard you might have for kids or that might be on their student ID. It's barcoded with their student, and I am going to scan that. Once we scan the barcode in and submit, it is now going to show that that item is checked out to this student. So this is what the screen looks like on there. We are going to confirm, yes, check out to Bill Abbott. And we get one more screen that allows us to add details to this. And in that details, we can put condition when assigned. So we're going to select it's in excellent condition. We could also put some assignment notes in there if we want. We hit save, and now you're done with that checkout.
All right, so hopefully that was pretty self-explanatory and you were able to see how easy that process is. Again, it works on all fronts. Before we go any further, I'm actually going to go in and we're going to talk a little bit about the barcode scanners. And I will tell you that when we got into this and started to build that functionality out, we tested a great number of scanners, both wired scanners and Bluetooth. All have worked, and these are four of the tools that we tested. The first item on the left is this Motorola symbol LS2208. This is a pretty standard laser barcode scanner that has been used in a number of instances, pretty readily available. We actually have it available on the JW Pepper site as well. This barcode price is, you can find it at $100 range. Ours is a little bit more expensive, I think, on Pepper, but again, you don't have to be wedded to purchasing these from us. We just make that available. So this item is wired, as I said. The second item, this Colatron dual 2.4 gigahertz wireless, is a Bluetooth wireless scanner. For those of you who don't know, there's basically a couple of different kind of barcodes. So there's one-dimensional and two-dimensional. The one-dimensional is what we're focused on. So this barcode reader actually reads both one-dimensional and two-dimensional. So if we ever moved in the direction of QR codes, which is the two-dimensional, it would be able to work. Right now, there's not a need for that. We are doing all of our barcodes one-dimensionally. But this piece of equipment we purchased for under $100. And then this item here, the Terra barcode reader, the lower right, the black and orange item that you're looking at, is a wireless or wired. So you have the ability to plug the wireless 2.4 gigahertz into your computer and actually go hands-free with the barcode reader, or you can use the plug and plug it in. Either way is fine, but the nice part about this barcode reader is this was in the $30 range. Actually, I think it was a little bit less than $30 for us to purchase. So again, all over price-wise, and any of them worked. You saw in the video, I was using this Opticon Bluetooth OPN 2006. This is a Bluetooth wireless scanner. It is a bit more expensive. It's just over $200, but you can see really the prices because it is so small and able to be used remotely very easily. So wiring that or connecting that via Bluetooth to my smart device made the scanning possibilities very easy out in the field. So again, just wanted to share some of the equipment options that exist. I'm sure there's a great many more. Some of you may have equipment already, or the school does, and I'm sure that those things would work as well. Again, we tested a great many and had no problem with our system on any of that. We're going to jump back into the website and pick up where we left off here a little bit. We're going to now show you how to print barcodes. So back under inventory, I'm going to drop down into this item, the fifth item down, print barcodes, and open that. And you're going to be presented with a screen that says select inventory module. So we first want to identify what is it that we want to print. I'm going to go back into my attire just because we've been dealing in that area. So as I look here, this is all of my uniform and attire inventory. I can just continue to scroll, but because there's so many items in there, I'm actually going to narrow the field a little bit. I'm going to go into marching band, and I'm going to select an item, drum major jacket, and I'm going to hit search. And now that's going to return for me just those 5 items that we have in inventory that are drum major jackets. I can open this at any time and look at the specifics of those items. That would be the same on the instrument inventory side as well. But again, you're going to see that existing barcode and system barcode there. It's going to default that in my selection, it's going to have all selected. I can deselect all. And it's going to take that checkbox away, and I'd have the ability to, if I just wanted to print a couple of barcodes out, I could do it just for those items. But in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and select all. And the next thing I'm going to do is go into select the label format. So we have a couple of Avery pre-populated labels in here. We are going to be adding more, but a couple of standard Avery labels. The 5160 is a 1 inch by 2 5/8 inch. Some of you have referred these as 1-ups. They come 30 per sheet. We also have a larger 2 by 4 inch label in here. We have a smaller 1/2 inch by 1 3/4 inch. So all kinds of opportunities. You might notice a 5160 and an 8160, very similar numbers. Avery, the label maker, actually produces a number of different kind of labels. The 5160 is pretty much their standard label. It works well for indoor use, maybe to put on file folders or to put on your music, scans very well. The 8160, however, is a more industrial version of that same label. It has a much more stickier adhesive, so it might be applicable for instrument cases that are going to be out in the weather, or things that might kind of have that kind of experience where it's not going to be indoors all the time. Again, options with what you're going to do. I'm going to just pick the 5160. I hit produce labels, and it is going to open print monitor for those labels. And I'm going to blow that up a bit. So you can see there are those drum major jackets that I selected, and I could print to that label and just load the printer and do that. So great opportunity there. The other thing I want to show you on the screen, though, is if you don't want to print a full sheet and maybe don't have a full sheet, you actually can extract that file as a CSV. Some of you may have other kind of label printers. I know Avery has a system, Dymo Label has a system. We purchased one of those printers that actually prints off in rolls. So you can actually print 1 or 2 or however many you need. It's a very inexpensive and slick printer that you might want to look at. Again, Dymo, DYMO is the printer that we used in that case. So that way you could actually extract the file. One of the questions that received in the last webinar was, are the items that are returned in terms of the content that's on the printed label, is it locked in? In our download produce labels, it is pre-populated, but in this extract option, you have the ability to literally take that extracted CSV and load it into a labeled program and customize it. In our Dymo program, we were able to pull the fields that we wanted and print those on there. So you have a little bit more flexibility when not using, the full sheet label printing. So, I mean, it literally is that easy. one of the things that I want to address up front is, again, we have the ability to do this on all of the different areas of inventory. I picked an attire item, and you might be questioning, why would I have printed that on a one-up or a sticky label when in fact our attire probably needs to have a sewn-in label or even an iron-on label. I'm happy to let you know that we have just recently signed a partnership with the Stanberry Uniform Company. Just got done doing a session for all of their reps around the country here a week or two ago, but through our relationship with Stanberry, one of the benefits for customers of Stanberry who are purchasing uniforms, those over the course of the next 18 months or so that purchase uniforms from Stanberry will get a complimentary version of CutTime loaded with their uniform information already in there, with all the scanning capabilities there. So we're thrilled to offer that. But through this partnership, we're able to have them create labels for uniforms that are sewn in. And so if you have a need for that, we would be able to create pricing for you on those labels if you wanted to purchase those. Those aren't things that you can print out on a printer. They would have to be produced for you. And we're working on sourcing that at a very reasonable price. So we'll have more information on that very shortly for you. I do want to point out one thing on each of the screens while we're here on the web, on the home page or website. There's a help button. If I were to click on this help button, it's actually going to open the solutions tab. So the solutions tab is an area where you can literally go and see tutorial videos or get help on any area within CutTime. So I'm actually going to go down into the inventory module, and you'll see barcodes, add new item, barcode printing. I can click on that item and it's actually going to walk through all of that same process. So if you ever get stuck, you have the ability to go get a walkthrough, and there will be videos there as well. So that is a very helpful process in terms of self-help. If you run into problems, you can always call our 800 number, and we have customer service folks that will help in that process. And then if it's after hours, you might be doing something late at night, you could always add a support ticket and somebody would be back to you first thing in the morning. The next thing that I want to do is I'm going to jump back in. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to jump over to the website real quick and show you at the very bottom of our website, and we're going to be launching a blog here very soon. But for now, you'll see down here Facebook and YouTube. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, I would encourage you to do so. If you click on here, it's going to open our Facebook page, so CutTime Group Management on the Facebook side. There's an ability for us to post regular information on that front. And then this YouTube channel will launch a player with all of the various recordings of webinars and tutorials that are out there. So another great way for you to get information and training on the tool itself. The thing that I'm most excited about is that most recently, actually a couple of weeks ago, we actually launched a Facebook user group. So for everybody who is a subscriber, and I know there's a few of you on who've already subscribed, those of you who are subscribers, as well as those of you who are in a trial, have the ability to join that community group. We have sent email invitations out to do that. If you didn't get one of those, in the question area, just give us your email address and name and say, I would like to get the invitation to the community, which there's a lot of conversation going on between users that have been very helpful to one another. So I would encourage you to look at that as another source. All right, let me jump back into the deck real quick, and we'll get to the question and answer section of the presentation. So the next slide, again, looking at that home page of the website, if you haven't already started a trial, the one thing that we do is we offer a 30-day free trial, no obligation. You don't have to enter a credit card or any payment information. It literally allows you to get in to the tool and use it as if it was yours, and load actually your data into it. So when you start a trial, it's going to come with all of the functionality, it just won't have any data. Our customer service team is ready to help you get your data in. So for that, over that 30-day period, you'd actually be able to use it like it was your system. So I would encourage you, if you haven't, go ahead and start a trial, and one of our team members would be in touch with you how to activate your solution. I want to show you some of the pricing, because that's always a question of how CutTime prices. We have a couple of basic tiers. The basic subscription is $99 per year. This is really geared at directors who only have one ensemble, or we actually have a lot of community groups, bands, orchestras, choirs that are utilizing this. We have a number of church music organizations that are in this basic. The typical school is purchasing the standard, which allows for multiple ensembles. So if I'm a choir director, I could have all of my groups in there. If I'm a band director, I can manage all of my groups. I also have the ability to have other helpers, whether those be parents or other teachers, in there as administrators. So colleagues who need to share that one account have the ability to have multiple administrators. And then this third bracket is once a program or a school district purchases more than one subscription. So let's say a school district has maybe a couple high schools, or a high school and a middle school. The high school band subscribes and the middle school band subscribes. Both of those then drop to $199. The more groups within a particular district that subscribe and get subscriptions, the price comes down. Once you get to 5 or more in a district, that $199 becomes less, and it continues to come down the more subscription in a district that are there. So great opportunity for your colleagues to be in here. The nice part about CutTime is that you can actually start in the middle school or even elementary school and have that data follow that student all the way through their middle school and high school years, and you'll have a record of all of that right at your fingertips. So a great asset on that side of things. The next screen is, we've gotten to the place for questions and answers. So I'm going to open my question box where I think you probably have been getting and being answered, but I'm going to go ahead and start at the top with the questions and make my way through as far as I can go with the minutes we have left. First question is, can I scan barcodes with my phone? So you saw in the demo that I was actually scanning into my phone. What I was doing was, though, I used the Bluetooth connectivity to that phone. Right now we are cloud-based, so there has not been a need for an app. And an app is what we would utilize to use the camera in the phone. So our solution right now is through Bluetooth and connectivity that way to our devices. I will tell you that in our long-range roadmap for this product, we are investigating an app that you would actually be able to use that functionality within your phone or tablet. How do I get my inventory put into CutTime if I am not purchasing from Stanbury? Great question. Actually, we would take anybody's inventory into that. I was just pointing that out. But right now we have importers that any files that you can get out of existing systems that you might be using, or Excel spreadsheets that you have things in, as long as you can get your data into an Excel and then export it as a CSV file, we can then take that CSV file and our customer service team will actually bring that into your application. So any CSV file, whether that be people, inventory, whether that's instruments or uniforms or music library, all of those files can be imported at no cost to you by our team. And they would be happy to walk through that with you, either on the phone. There's the 800 number, 310-0087, or you can drop them an email and they can walk you through how that process would work. Can I use barcodes to take attendance? That's a great question, and it actually is the third phase of our barcode functionality. It is due to be released next month, where you actually will be able to take that student data that we were using to marry with inventory and then use it for attendance purposes, whether that were attendance at a concert or a rehearsal or even classroom management if you wanted to do that. So it is not there today, but it is coming very shortly. Next question. I have parents and students who help me with handing out uniforms and instruments. Do they have access to this function within CutTime? Yeah, the beauty of CutTime is you actually have the ability to give anybody in your program administrative rights. I'm going to jump back in very quickly to the actual application and show you what I'm talking about. In people, if I go into my members, so there's a list of all of my members. I'm going to actually open my parent group. And there's a list of parents. And let's just say Bill is going to be one of my helpers. I'm going to go into Bill's account and scroll down to the bottom of his account. This is the same for anybody in my program, whether it's a parent or a student. I open this permissions tab and I can give, if I have a booster officer that I want to give full admin rights to, I have the ability to do that. But in the case of inventory, I actually can turn that on and off for parents. I can turn it on if I have a student that's coming in for a class period and I want them to help us with the music library. I can actually turn on inventory administrative rights for a student during a class period and then turn it off. So total flexibility on how we deliver that permissibility, and it's really all about giving you the assistance that you need. So great question, and I'm glad we could address that. So we have gotten to about a minute past where we're supposed to be. If there are further questions that I wasn't able to address, we will certainly reach out to you with an email and try to set up a time that we can answer that over the phone. Again, if you would like to go a little deeper, you have the ability to send us an email or go onto the website and sign up for a one-on-one. One of our team members would be happy to schedule an online meeting where they could do a demo, show you some specifics, answer your questions that you have. So feel free to do that via email or on the website. And then the next steps for us are that I'd just like to remind you that, again, check out next week's webinar, October 2nd at 6 p.m., an overview of the CutTime system if you want to go a little bit deeper. And at this point, I am going to wrap things up. And from all of us at CutTime, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you in the platform as soon as possible. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.